The Nets are 18-23, a miserable 5 games under 500, with the Lakers coming into town on Martin Luther King's Day. I figured the front office would break down what Kenny Atkinson is thinking directly from the horse's mouth. Let's do it, New York City. That's what I'm looking for, is the reasons why. I mean, you guys hear what I have to say. But I figured I'd take the last press conference where it seemed like the one that the press is starting to have questions, and one of my biggest pet peeves with how the Nets are covered. Like, people tend to say, oh, you know, the Nets don't have the scrutiny that the Knicks have. And I'm wrong. I mean, excuse me. I think that's wrong. I think it's the people that cover the Nets that are the difference. Like, for instance, Grady, who does an amazing job. Amazing job. I love that dude. Great character. Yeah, I actually was in a restaurant. I won't say the name of the restaurant or the place, or I don't want to blow any spots, but I have to send a salute to Grady because he was with a super bad bitch. I mean, I was there with my super bad bitch, but he was there with a beautiful woman. Oh my God, winner. And I think I like all of these people who cover the Nets very much. I think they're all good people. You know, Brian Lewis, he's just gentleman. Sounds like someone in my family, articulate, thoughtful, ask, pretty good questions. But the Nets coverage, or the Nets beat writers, there's not much pressure. But in this last press conference, some questions were asked, and I want to let Kenny talk through them, with the front office. And I'm going to drop my commentary, and I'm going to translate what Kenny is saying. And when we come out the end of this rabbit hole, I'm going to give you my opinion on the overall thing. So, without further ado, New York City, Kenny Atkinson.
Coach, what stood out on paper in the flow of the game? It was where they gave you the most difficulty.
I thought our defense was actually decent. I'm not saying it was great or outstanding. I thought we fought defensively and offensively.
Irresponsible right off the top. Like, he said, I thought our defense was good. The Bucks put 117 points on you, Kenny Atkinson. They pulled Giannis at the end of the third. Like, they beat the brakes off of your team. You had no way of stopping their bigs. And for you to say that you thought the defense was good, truly is you think your defensive system is good. Because if Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to only play 26 minutes and still get 29 minutes and 12 rebounds, 4 assists, then your defense was not good, Kenny.
Obviously didn't make shots. They're the number one rim protection team in the league. And I don't know. I feel like yes, we attacked the rim, but we also got to figure out how, when that against a great rim protecting team, maybe just make that extra pass, those extra 2 passes. I felt like we were going against a.
See, right there, it's a great tell for what Kenny is trying to say. Kenny is a proponent for guard play, not just point guard play, former point guard. You can tell he loves it, played basketball all around the world just out of effort and hard work. But Kenny Atkinson is trying to tell you there that if we had more guard play, more passing, not just ball movement, but if we made the extra 2 passes, somehow that would have made it possible for them to score over the size and the physicality of the Milwaukee Bucks. That is nonsense. And if he truly believes that, the situation is worse than I thought.
Just a wall, especially in the first half. I think the second half we moved it a little better.
And if you're confronted by a wall, why wouldn't it be smart strategically to put players in that can actually see over that wall, scale that wall? Okay, but your counter to knowing that team has a wall, has length, size, and physicality, your counter to that was, and yes, they played Rodions. They did. But they came out with the 2-guard lineup and then played a lot of 3-guard this game. Let's listen to Kenny a little bit more.
I thought there were a ton of open threes. We knew we were going to get the threes. Didn't go down. That makes it look worse. But credit to Milwaukee. I mean, I think they are. They're playing as good as anybody I've seen in a while in this league. So just got to give them credit. Give Bud credit. They're playing great basketball.
Give Bud credit, because Bud is a part of this story. See, Kenny Atkinson doesn't have a unique idea in his head. He doesn't. I think his interview with Sean Marks pretty much went like this. Hey, Kenny, if I hired you, what system would you come here and run? And Kenny said, basically everything that Bud runs right now. Oh, really? What does that constitute of? Everything that Bud does. See, Kenny Atkinson is basically using the 2013, 14, 15 Atlanta Hawks system. It's all he knows. That's why we're running out so many guards. Remember that? Small, Paul Millsap, Damari Carroll. I'm blanking on who the other guard was, but it wasn't a big guard. It was Teague and somebody else. I don't know why I can't remember. I was just thinking about it yesterday. But that's all he knows. See, Coach Bud is a real coach. He got to Atlanta. He said, all right, these are the pieces I got. We're going to play this system. We're going to take advantage of the way the current NBA is positionalist basketball. Right. And next thing you know, they're top of the East. But that team Coach Bud watched wasn't very successful in the playoffs, even though they were an excellent team. They weren't good because when the ball slows down, when teams have 24 hours to prepare for you on a nightly basis and figure out how to take away what you do best, the number one thing you could do in that situation is get high percentage basketball points. Our owner, Joe Tsai, said it the other day. He was like, high percentage basketball is very important. That's why having a Jared Allen who's a rim runner and can catch a lob and dunk it, super important. But the problem is they put next to that low percentage basketball. They surround that with too much low percentage basketball. The other power forward, the other front court player cannot shoot over 42%. And that's a failure in the making in itself.
What do you want to continue to see from Nick Claxton that may give him an opportunity to crack the lineup even when DeAndre comes back?
He's just going to be good. He's got some extra, whatever that extra is. That he's a quick jumper. He's got quick hands, good instincts. He's just got to get stronger, and once he gets stronger, he's going to be a heck of a player for us. So. And he's a competitor, high-level competitor. We're really, bullish on him.
And you should be. But here's what scares me with the development of Nick Claxton. Nick Claxton plays facing the basket. He actually doesn't have a bad three-point shot. You could tell if he works on it, it's going to be good. Jarrett Allen is the exact opposite. Jarrett Allen is a lobs and dunks center, right? He plays with his back to the basket or rolling to the basket when a point guard or another offensive player dribble drives. He's the safety valve. He's the throw me the lob and I'll dunk it, right? It would be hugely beneficial for him, for his development, and the point guards on the Nets to have another outlet. Because right now, what defenses do is they basically have a player that hedges on Jarrett Allen to take away that lob dunk, because that dunk basically sets everything off. It makes it where you can't really run up on Spencer Dinwiddie because you got to cheat a little to take away Jarrett Allen. But what teams have figured out is we don't have to guard Taurean Prince going to the basket at all. The Nets are always going to have to pitch out and take a low percentage shot from that. And teams will live with that, which is why you cannot develop this kid. You have an opportunity to put this kid in your program, feed him tons of protein, get him in the gym. Because you see the monsters that the East has. It's not just Giannis. It's not just the fact that the Bucks are a big team. Toronto's big. Indiana's big. Every time we play Sabonis, he eats our food. And they already have Miles Turner. So you have this opportunity to take this kid, Nick Claxton, that shows a lot of ability in the sense of just, if this kid's shot just gets a little bit more efficient, if this kid puts on some strength, he could play four for us. But not for Kenny Atkinson.
Kenny, we've spent some time talking about these last couple of games and these next few games as being kind of a tough stretch collectively. What do you do to try to look at each game individually as opposed to being like, look at this collective place where we could just slide and end on a, however many game losing streak?
That's a feel as a coach, understanding the context of each game and then the schedule you're playing and when's the time to, lay the hammer, when's the time to lay off, when's the time to pick a team up. I feel like more right now it's need to lift these guys, and especially with the tough schedule, it'll come back. I thought we played really well in Philly tonight. You almost have to, hit a perfect game, and we didn't, but
Whenever you hear coaches talking about feel, it's because they don't have anything actually tangible to respond to. The nonsense that he's saying right now is frustrating because it's not about feel. It's about game plan. It's about understanding the landscape of the NBA and being able to counter it. But the game planning, the scouting, the team that was built, which was built for Kenny Atkinson and for his system, because it's not like Sean Marks